My name is Amanda O'Connor, and I did my research proposal on stress and performance. The topic of stress and performance is about how stress and the different levels of stress affect performance. This applies to human factors because human factors is all about making things easy and safe to do, and stress and performance shows how people can become stressed while doing most anything, which can then in turn have performance issues when this person becomes too stressed and can't perform the task properly. The first article I chose to do was by Connor, Wagner, Buriham, and Valdemir in 2017. Their hypothesis was, perceived medical school stress would prove to be a predictor of the M1 grade, and that students would have a lower perceived stress level would perform better. So the M1 is just a medical exam. They did a study where they measured the students' stress levels and then their grades on the M1 test. Measuring the stress levels before the exam shows that there is some correlation between stress and performance on the exam. The second article I chose to do was by Stewart, Lam, Beston, C. Wong, and A. Wong in 1998. They had three hypotheses. First being, those with lower pre-medical scores had higher anxiety and stress than those who had higher pre-medical scores. Second being, vulnerability to stress might increase stress. And lastly, stress management might increase or decrease stress. They had the students come in and take 3 different tests for the 3 different hypotheses. One was on personality, and then stress, and lastly stress management. They found that previous scores are a predictor on how much stress and anxiety someone will experience, and stress management will also predict how much stress the student is under. The last article I chose to do was by Lazarine, Deese, and Alser in 1952. I know this is an older article, but I liked what they came across. They hypothesized that failure would cause there to be stress. They did 3 different procedures. First, by presenting the participants with an unsolvable task. Then the participants were interrupted before they could finish said task. And then lastly, the participants were told that other people may normally complete the test in a specific amount of time, even though no one can complete the test in the amount of time and pass. So certain people will react more to stress-inducing tasks than others, is what they concluded. The hypothesis I was going to do was students who have a final exam will stress and make mistakes on the final and not so much on the quiz, mainly because the final is worth more, usually, than a quiz is. For example, a final might be worth 30% of the final grade, and whereas a quiz might be equal to 1% of the grade. The participants would be college-age students who are getting ready to take a final in the class. There are going to be both male and female, and I'm using these people because my study is going to be on stress of finals and their score on college students. Materials would be, there would be a $5 to $20 fee to take the experiment with the promise that they would receive the money back after completion of the study. The students will then be given an exam with common knowledge on it and told that if they fail the exam, they will not receive the cookie, donut, treat, or whatever at the end of the study. Then, after they complete the first exam, they will be given an exam with different common knowledge and told that if they fail, they will not be getting their refund back and will be kicked out of the study. The procedure will go like this. The college students will come in and pay a fee of $5 to $20 to get into the study. They will be then sat down at a table with the other students, and each of them will be handed an exam with common knowledge on it. They will then be told that if they fail, they will not get the treat at the end of the study. After the time runs out, the exam will be graded and the treats will be handed out to those who pass the exam. The next exam will then be handed out to the students, and the students will be told that if they fail this one, they will be kicked out of the experiment without a refund, all the while having different but still common knowledge on the exam. So each exam will be timed, and they will each have common knowledge on it. Even though the student might not pass the second one, they will still get a refund. The results that I would expect would be the students who did well in the quiz section of the exam, or the experiment, did worse on the final exam, since there is more pressure to finish and complete and pass the final exam than there is on the quiz section, since the quiz section of the exam was all about not getting a treat or getting a treat if you pass, and the final exam section would be about not getting your refund back or your money back if you fail the exam.